He's a great fighter. He knows what to do. I didn't have to give him any advice, but he fought great tonight.
Appreciate you, Mike. Thank you.
Tim, what do you think of the performance?
I think it was a 10 out of 10, spectacular. Who would have thought that someone who thought that someone like that could do to a cruiserweight, you know?
Legs, fast. I mean, what type of fighter?
Brother, right now,
that could.
there's no ingredient. There's nothing to beat the Mexican monster. What I seen, even me, I'm impressed. I'm like, what the fuck? How does he throw those fucking big punches like a Lofkin shots? How did he drop that hand and hit you? And then he's gonna do it again, but he changed it down. Uppercuts, you know, everything, bro, you know, footwork, defense, you know. Right now, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't see any danger for David Benavidez at 175 and at cruiserweight or
God, I'm gonna get fucked up, baby. The best fights I've ever seen in my life. Happy Cinco de Mayo. I'm getting loaded.
And when you look at the two, hell, Monstro had more of an excuse. At least he got jabbed and got disrupted. His looks more accidental than even so Canelo Alvarez. Listen, y'all, this is getting pathetic. Every time someone has a great win, the fanboys of the op always want to create some kind of controversy. And I'm pretty sure you guys are going to be in the comments acting.
Yeah, it was the left elbow from David Benavidez. So when you have that left elbow hit and you violently shake to the right, now your already injured eye is getting whipped in that direction, right? Where pressure is building. It's not just there already, it's building inside of it, and that can make the swelling inside worse. In extreme cases, it could damage the retina, and that's what happened to, that's what the retinas get detached, right? So there's actually a real concept for it. It's called country.
Whoa! After an amazing Cinco de Mayo weekend in which David Benavidez obliterates Zurdo Ramirez, breaking his orbital bone in the 6th round, knocking him out, man, the whole world is in awe. The whole boxing world is in awe of David Benavidez. And I think that the way that David Benavidez fights, the way that he's captivating the imagination, the emotions of the boxing fans is what's needed in the sport of boxing. But of course, with all the praise comes just a little bit of hate. Hecklers, detractors, you know what I'm saying? Criticism of David Benavidez, but we all know where it comes from.
While the rest of the boxing world was busy crowning David Benavidez as the new king of the division, Ramirez dropped a bombshell that immediately tainted the victory. He explicitly told reporters that amidst the chaos of that final devastating combination, the illegal elbow Benavidez threw left a notoriously bad taste in his mouth. Just like that, the narrative flipped. This wasn't just a dominant victory anymore. It was the birth of a massive cheating scandal.
Cheating scandal.
They're talking about the elbows. Oh, did you see David Benavidez connect elbows at Zurdo Ramirez? It wasn't the power of the monster, David Benavidez. It was the elbows. It was the elbows. Hey, yo, at the end of the day, it's still a fight, y'all. At the end of the day, it's still a fight. Huh? Y'all acting like he did the rock. You know what I'm saying? Put him in the middle of the ring and did the, you know what I'm saying? If you smell what the monster is cooking. Y'all act like he was like just throwing elbows like if he was singing Ludacris. Them bows, them bows, them bows, them bows. No. It's still a fight. It's still a fight. You know, Zurdo Ramirez got in a position in which, you know, David Benavidez was throwing great short hooks and, yo, he caught an elbow, but at the end of the day, it's still a fight. Still a fight. And if there's people out there that feel like, yo, man, the elbow, well, it's Zurdo Ramirez's job to elbow him back. Just like if somebody's trying to lowball you, and you know what, you got to, and the referee's not doing nothing about it. Guess what? Hit him with a low blow. If somebody hitting you with a rabbit punch, hit him with a rabbit punch.
The backlash was instantaneous and ruthless across Reddit forums and YouTube comment sections. The internet erupted into a full-blown investigation of every frame of the fight. Official highlight reels, racking up millions of views, were completely hijacked by viewers, pausing the video right at the moment of impact. Thousands of top-voted comments didn't praise Benavidez' incredible speed. They pointed directly at what they called a blatant, intentional foul. The hardcore boxing community quickly divided. Some labeled Benavidez a notoriously dirty fighter who relies on illegal tactics to break opponents down others, began theorizing that his famous rapid-fire shoe-shine combinations are actually a calculated smoke screen. The argument was that throwing blinding flurries of punches is the perfect cover for sneaking in bone-crushing elbows without the referee ever noticing.
Gotta talk about this. Beating the hell out of Zurdo Ramirez. I mean, that is incredible. No one stops Zurdo. Who stops Zurdo? And speaking of stops, a lot of you guys were asking about his injuries and if he suffered an orbital bone break or what have you. It has been released, okay? And I'm not sure who the source really is and who confirmed this, but they released this on socials, that Zurdo Ramirez suffered multiple injuries after his fight with David Benavidez. A broken orbital bone, bruised ribs, mouth laceration, and multiple broken teeth. Now, when you look at these damn combinations, yeah. So it should be no surprise that Saul Canelo Alvarez would leave the entire arena before Monstro had his fight against Zurdo Ramirez. Many people were speculating, and I just knew that he was going to bring up Canelo's name because he knew Canelo was burning.
Sport was burning to the ground with outrage. The boxing elite ringside were suspiciously quiet about the foul promoters, and legendary fighters completely ignored the scandal unfolding right in front of them. Oscar de la Hoya practically brushed past the elbow narrative, instead raving about how Benavidez' relentless pace and blinding speed were simply too much for Ramirez to handle.
Zurdo, what'd you think about the matchup?
Beautiful. It was, look, I mean, that's the way I called it, is the buzzsaw of Benavidez, punches and bunches. And the only shot that Zurdo had was kind of, throw a punch right in the center. So obviously the speed was too much. Benavidez was too much. The monster's here for a long time. So very proud of him. But the whole night from top to bottom was excellent. Probably one of the best cards we've ever put.
Absolutely. What do you think is next for Benavidez? What would you like to see? I thought we couldn't hear back here, but maybe he was talking about B-ball. Is that something that looks like is coming up next?
He's got many options. He's got many options. So I think right now he is the man at that weight class. So whoever's going to fight him has to wait in line, because there's several fighters like B-ball, like all the top guys. So including just all the world champions. But Benavidez right now.
Fernando Vargas echoed the exact same sentiment, admitting he was left in pure shock by the sheer volume of punches coming from a fighter moving up 25 pounds to cruiserweight.
The cruiserweight.
What I said was that, Benavidez is a monster. He's just you never seen somebody that's so tall, so big, be that fast. It's like he's super fast, you know what I mean? And he has power too. So at the end of the day, I tip my hand off to Benavidez. He's a Mexican monster.
Now, what's next for him, man? Should he stay here? I mean, Zurdo's never even been knocked out, and he knocked him out twice and out.
That's what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, he's just got it all. He's right now, he's one of my favorite fighters, and, I wish him the best.
Canelo left before the main event, man. Was that a good idea?
Hold on, where's my weapon? What was that again?
I said Canelo left before the main event. Do you think that was like a good idea?
I think it was a good idea.
It's a good idea.
Because they want to, I know that Benavidez might call him out, so it happens. But you know what? Saul has fought everybody also. So he's not scared of anybody. So, I mean, when people think that want to put that around, like that he's scared of something, he's not scared of nothing. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, this is boxing. If you want to see...
Even highly respected analysts like Coach Breadman focused entirely on Benavidez' sheer dominance, crowning him the ultimate boogeyman of the division. To the pros, the stoppage was the inevitable result of a brutal massacre, not a single dirty trick. They
all know hurt. I actually, if I was dealing with a fighter, I'd rather them get knocked out cold with one shot than just get beat up for 11, 12 rounds like that, because that ruins you. Where your brain's constantly going back and forth up against your skull all night long. Pop, 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 pop. That's worse than one shot on the point of the chin. You go to sleep, you wake up, you take off a couple of months and then come back. So those punches hurt, man. You know what I mean? And listen, and I'm not saying this, I think highly of Benavidez as a fighter. And he's mean. He'll elbow you too. He elbowed him a couple times over them punches. You know what I'm saying? I think he elbowed him one time. The announcers missed it, but if you saw the replay, he was throwing the hook and he brought an elbow behind. He's mean.
Yeah.
Listen, he's one of them guys that from 68 to 200 pounds, when you look, not just now, just look throughout history, circle those weights, you like.
Anyone digging a little deeper into the trending hashtags on X and the hidden agenda driving this controversy suddenly becomes obvious. This entire situation has morphed into a massive proxy war between two bitterly divided fan bases. Accounts fiercely loyal to Saul Canelo Alvarez are the ones working overtime, weaponizing slow motion clips and freeze frames to spread the cheating narrative. Their goal isn't necessarily to defend Zurdo Ramirez, is to completely delegitimize Benavidez' newly minted status as a unified champion and downplay him as a legitimate threat to Canelo. It is a calculated campaign to protect their favorite fighter's legacy by tearing down the credibility of his biggest rival. Every clip posted is a deliberate strike designed to keep Benavidez from getting the respect he just earned in the ring.
David Benavidez just put on a masterclass performance and destroyed Zurdo, but the conversation ain't about his masterclass, it's about elbows. But get this, remember, this is the sport of boxing, a sport that you don't play boxing. And history has showed us that the legends in the game, the greats, they've used pretty much everything to win. Bernard Hopkins, Lord Chow. Floyd Mayweather, that forearm, Lord Chow. Mike Tyson, we don't even want to talk about Mike Tyson. And get this, none of them apologized. It's funny, my nigga, because fans always talking about they want squabbles and violence. But the moment it gets uncomfortable, a certain fan base starts to motherfucking cry. But get this, when you fight David, the Mexican monster,
the retaliation from Benavidez supporters was swift and incredibly damaging to the opposition's argument. Instead of just arguing back, they brought receipts. Content creators broke down the actual mechanics of a high-level boxing match, revealing a hidden truth about power punching. When a fighter throws a vicious left hook and applies extreme torque, the natural recoil forces the elbow to clear out sharply on the way back. It is a common incidental byproduct of throwing heavy leather.
Legitimate was this win for David Benavidez against Zurdo Ramirez. If the referee did see the elbow, it would not be deemed as an instant disqualification. What would probably happen is that the ref would be like, okay, they got into a flurry, it was an accidental elbow, what we're gonna do is you're gonna go over there and recover. Benavidez, you go to the other neutral corner, he'd go check on Zurdo. Zurdo will be like, I can't see out of my eye and he elbowed me. And then the referee would probably stop the fight and make it a no contest. I think that is the only outcome from this elbow or elbow gate, I'll call it. At the very, very most, David Benavidez will be stripped of his new championships and the fight will be deemed a no contest. Or nothing happens, David Benavidez keeps his championships, bam, bam, bush, done. What I gather from this is it's unfortunate, but realistically, it's either going to end with David Benavidez losing his belts but not losing the fight, or him keeping the belts and winning the fight just with an accident.
To drive the point home, fans unearthed damning footage of Canelo Alvarez doing the exact same thing to Terrence Crawford. The very fan base crying foul was suddenly confronted with undeniable video evidence of their own champion landing a nearly identical accidental elbow strike during a high-profile.
How about the elbow? He got hit with the elbow. All of you Saul Canelo Alvarez fanboys don't understand how he threw a punch, hit Zurdo with an elbow, and how that is not being highlighted as cheating by Showbiz, the Adult, and the War Room. It's all over X and everything. So I'm going to explain it. And the best way I can explain how often this happens is by using your boy Canelo.
Get him. Get him, twin. 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 She's on me like I'm famous. She don't know me yet. Yeah, I'm somebody. But who the fuck is that? Been me, you feel me? from the broke days in the alleyways, McLaren on the freeways. I'm still.
From here on out, Saul Canelo Alvarez is going to be called Canelo.
Strip away all the landed by Benavidez moments earlier. That clean shot is what shattered his defense and forced the ringside doctor to step in. The elbow may have connected during the final flurry, but it was the catastrophic damage to his eye that truly ended the war.
The most effective punches were the bent arm shots on the inside, and in particular, the left hook. Honestly, it's a shot that I've seen in nearly all of Zurdo's major fights. That left hook has landed on him, and it seems to be there always. When he gets to the ropes, when he's backed up there, it just seems that his defense is a little bit loose in those scenarios when the short bent arm shots are being thrown. It might be because he is so long that the gap is just there in his guard, and those bent arm shots, they do the job. Now, you don't need me to tell you, if you're a fan of boxing, that David Benavidez is one of the best bent arm shot punchers in world boxing today. His left hook is a fantastic shot. I am very, very concerned for Zurdo Ramirez in those inside scenarios, where if, and I suppose when, David Benavidez gets him there. And so it showed. The left hook and the hooks in general inside, absolutely key, but the left hook in particular. Look at this image of Zurdo Ramirez's eye. Absolutely grotesque and swollen. He actually went down, not because he was knocked unconscious or not because he was concussively hit to the point where he wasn't really fully there, compos mentis. It was because he was in so much pain. You could see him getting hit to the eye and touching his eye and having to take a knee. He just couldn't keep going. It was definitely a conscious choice to stop. I do believe that more than likely there's something broken in there, potentially the orbital bone. The swelling around the eye was absolutely grotesque. He was grimacing in pain. And we have to say that Zurdo Ramirez is a very, very durable, tough man with a good chin. So, yeah, Benavidez, he is no joke.
The truth about this explosive...
I'll say now, I said I thought it would be a points win over the distance. And so I have to say, I'm unbelievably impressed by this performance. This is above and beyond what I expected. And it's a combination of two things, really. It's Benavidez being absolutely fantastic. He absolutely did this the right way. He was very smart to come up and not put the extra size on. And now he's got so many options available to him, which we will talk about in a moment. We will look at the options for each of these guys moving forward. But the other thing was, and I mentioned it earlier in the video, but why on earth Zurdo Ramirez decided to come forward, only he really knows. I wonder if the sparring memories got into his head. Obviously, it was quite a big occasion for Mexico and for America. I think that maybe he was just too fired up by the crowd. He wanted to get in there. Maybe, he thought, I'm a cruiserweight now. That's what's different. I'm bigger. I'm stronger. I'm going to impose my size on him. It just simply did not work. And, Benavidez used his big singles like he always does. And eventually he did have Zurdo going backwards. It was a very good display from Benavidez. He did everything he needed to do. But I have to say that I thought Zurdo just boxed entirely the wrong fight. It was the back foot style that I thought would let him maybe do a bit better in the first half than Benavidez, and then I thought Benavidez would take over later. But because Zurdo's so durable, I thought the points went to get in there and get the stoppage. Even if Zurdo got the tactics wrong, it's very, very impressive to me. People were worried about Benavidez's power at light heavyweight, but he's just gone up to cruiserweight. And even if Zurdo's not a bona fide cruiserweight, he still beat Chris Billam-Smith, who had a world title for quite a few fights. It's not the deepest division, but still I'm finding it very, very important.
Pointing to a single accidental strike to rationalize a total beatdown completely ignores the absolute dominance displayed that night. It forces us to ask a difficult question about the current state of combat sports. Are we becoming a culture of fans so desperate to protect our favorite...
The truth about this explosive controversy lies somewhere between the viral outrage and the brutal reality of professional boxing. While an elbow definitely landed in the heat of that final exchange, it was the incidental result of a high-volume, relentless assault that completely overwhelmed Ramirez Benavidez, threw over 150 punches, and connected with terrifying accuracy, turning the ring into an absolute shredder.